Hello everybody, this is WarriorDan, avid PC gaming enthusiast, cat lover, and sarcastic personality. So here we are talking about a game where you can crash into cars, destroy public property, and make the local population run for their lives, as they are almost bowled over by your car. Yeah, and did I mention that this game is rated E for everyone? Before we get into today's video, I do want to give a shout out to Utomic for adding Crazy Taxi to their game library, allowing me to easily and quickly download it and get the game footage for all of you. Utomic is a monthly digital subscription service, giving users easy access to classic retro and modern day indie titles. Simply pick a title, download a portion of the game's files, and the server will hold the bigger, more space-consuming files on its end, allowing you to quickly get into your games without taking up too much space on your hard drive. Utomic does not sponsor this video, but they're honestly just kinda cool, so I wanted to give them a shout out before we get into today's video. For those of you who are new here, hit the subscribe button to get all my latest content featured in your subscriptions tab, and also hit the notifications button to get manually notified through YouTube or email, that way you can get notified directly as soon as a new video goes live. Now, on to the main video. Today we are delving back in time, a time where video games on average retained little to no complexity or sophistication, and existed purely for pick up and put down casual entertainment. Way back when the theological fanatics had finally realized that the world was not destined to end in the year 2000, while the world was still coming to terms with the fact that life was still going on, and we didn't all get obliterated by aliens or asteroids, or be sucked into the sky. I was roughly only 8 years old and happily playing video games with my cousins, and happily ignoring the possible apocalypse around us. One of my favorite games at the time was this silly game called Crazy Taxi. Little would I know, at the time, that years later, 15 years later roughly, I would be unexpectedly reunited with the game, sitting here at my desk, in front of my microphone, and my $1,000 gaming PC, just to talk about it. So, let's do it. Let's talk about Crazy Taxi. In Crazy Taxi, you, the player, take control of a eccentric-looking San Francisco taxi driver, looking to make a quick buck by picking up people in need of a ride and bringing them to their destination in one piece. Basically, you're the 1990s version of an Uber driver. The player is directed to the destination by a large on-screen green arrow, no relation to the DC comic book hero, at the top of the screen. The arrow does not adjust based on obstacles, but instead, like a compass, points in a vague direction of the destination. Once the player arrives near the destination, they must stop within a specified zone. Earn tips from your patrons by narrowly dodging oncoming traffic and by pulling off tricks like going airborne or pulling off risky, sharp turns. But don't get too sidetracked by pulling off all these stunts and tricks. Your customers will get a bit unhappy at the prospect of being bounced around like a bobblehead car ornament. If you bang into too many objects on your ride, your customers will fling themselves out the window headfirst, apparently preferring to take their chances with the pavement as opposed to spending another minute in the car with you. Now, while that might be a bit hard to take personally, that is the game's way of telling you that you are being too crazy, even for a game called Crazy Taxi. When the destination is reached, a customer's money is added to the player's total cash pool. In Crazy Taxi, players can select 3-minute, 5-minute, or 10-minute long settings, or the arcade rules used in the original co-op arcade version of the game. Crazy Taxi also features a mode known as Crazy Box. Crazy Box is essentially a challenge mode, containing a set of minigames that feature challenges such as picking up and dropping off a number of customers within a certain time period, engaging in an odd bowling activity using the taxi as a ball, and popping giant balloons in a field. In the time-limited settings, your play duration continues for the designated period of time after which the cab automatically stops and no more points can be earned. Under arcade rules, the player starts with an initial time limit of 1 minute, which can be extended through time bonuses given to you when the customer reaches their destination. Now, one of the most important aspects to the sandbox game is the amazingly intense soundtrack, featuring heavy rock music from awesome 90s bands like Bad Religion, The Offspring, and more. Sadly, I can't play these songs, or I might wake up tomorrow morning only to find a copyright strike on my channel, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. Overall, Crazy Taxi might not hold much value in the eyes of the modern-day millennial player base, but for those of us who are proudly 90s kids, Crazy Taxi is but one game that made our childhoods a wee bit crazier and a whole lot more fun. That said, the PC port of Crazy Taxi doesn't deliver as well as hoped. With the awkward, clunky control mechanics, which is typical of PC ports released by Sega, who notoriously does a bad job when it comes to controls of any PC port. It makes what could have been an amazing throwback, nostalgic experience into a moderately enjoyable, passable port of a game that was much more enjoyable to play on consoles and in the arcade. Overall, I'm giving Crazy Taxi a 5 out of 10. Normally, I'd probably rank it lower, like a 4 out of 10, but the game's offbeat humor and colorful tone still manages to hold up well over the years, and the soundtrack is just as amazing and cliché as it ever was. So despite its many obvious flaws, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and bump it up by one number for these reasons. But what do you think of Crazy Taxi? A worthwhile and enjoyable trot down memory lane, or a distant relic of the past that should stay buried and forgotten? Share your opinions down in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It always helps me figure out what you guys enjoy, so I can continue to make this channel even better and more fun. Also, for those of you who want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button so you can see when new videos are uploaded via your subscriptions tab, and hit the notifications button to get manually notified through YouTube or email. That way you can get notified directly as soon as a new video goes live. This is WarriorDan signing out. Stay awesome everybody, and peace out.